goes, oh, that goes, don't let it. I'm like, still don't. And the more I asked him what he said, he didn't change the way he said it. He just said it louder each time. So finally he was like, you know, I can't. And he never gave it up. He's like, do you like John Wayne? Do I like John Wayne? No, not really. But I'm glad we got there. Sorry, I just lose track of what I'm saying all the time. And so we finished working on the auction and we worked on Blue Gender, and I was saying that's important because that's the first time we actually got to use the Japanese language track and the music and the sound effects while we were recording. So we could preview the Japanese first, listen to what it sounded like, then go back and play it. We were using, lo and behold, digital video at that point, which was the best thing of all time, because we could move through it so much faster and it was great. Then Funimation exploded with stuff and they got a bunch of stuff, and then my memory starts to become very blurry. But at that point we started doing Fruits Basketo, and I played by far the toughest character I'd ever played, Ayame, if you guys have heard of him, the dress salesman. How many of you guys have seen Fruits Basket? Okay, good. Yeah, he's the kind of the flamboyantly nice dress cosplayer. Anyway, he was very friendly, so all boys. And definitely a change of pace from all the other characters I've played, because normally they have swords and muscles, and they like to blow people up with their hands and stuff. And whereas the Ayame like to just kiss boys. And then after that we worked on Kitty Grade. I don't know if you guys remember Kitty Grade, which is the weirdest name for such a cool show. I think it was just a bait and switch. Like, oh sweet, this is gonna be a weird show about little kids, and it wasn't. And then everything just started happening. The next greatest show we got was this tiny little cute adorable show about two brothers called Full Metal Alchemist or something like that. Who would be hands down one of the most uncomfortable people to meet in real life. I've said this on more than a couple panels before, but imagine what it would be like to know him for real. First of all, he's in the military. Second of all, he doesn't wear a shirt most of the time. All right, that's cool. But he likes to hug people, and you imagine. And the sparkle, I imagine in real life wouldn't be sparkles, it'd just be sweat. He was a great character to play, and I was very inspired by the Japanese voice for him. I mean, he was such a fun character. And it's funny, that Japanese, I'm sorry I'm going blank on what the Japanese voice of Alex Louis Armstrong is. I'm sure someone out there probably knows it by memory. I was lucky that I played him because at one point I got a random call from my agent said, hey, somebody from California from Square Enix just called and they want to cast you on a Final Fantasy game. I'm like, what's that noise all about? So I said, no, of course not. No, and then I said, wait, no, I'm kidding. Yes, of course, duh. So I show up and I said, so why did you guys choose me? And they said, well, we wanted you for Garland because you're the same voice in English as Alex Louis Armstrong. And so the Alex Louis Armstrong in Japan played Garland in Final Fantasy games, so they thought it was appropriate to bring the same voice in. That was the coolest call. I mean, I would have never guessed in a million years that I'd get a call in Texas to come work on Final Fantasy, so that was like, okay, check that off the bucket list, that's cool. And they were really fun sessions too, because those people in Square Enix take that game very seriously. You don't mess around in those sessions. And every single line is like a surgical procedure. You're like, I am the beginning and the end. Okay, hold on one second, please. Excuse me, princess. And they'll have a conversation about it for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then they'll finally go, that was good. They have to run it by everyone who works at Square Enix. They have to, I think, make a phone call and say, what do you think?